Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elliot Webber and it is that time again. It is race week for the final time in 2024 for the British Touring Car Championship. And oh my goodness, what a finale we have in store. We have Tom Ingram, the 2022 British Touring Car Champion, vying for his second crown this weekend. And we have Jake Hill, who is hopefully wishing for third time's the charm this year, or as his father Simon says on Twitter, hashtag 24 in 24. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Two of the best drivers, full stop, in the country, battling it out for the BTCC championship, tied on points going into this weekend. It literally could not get any closer between the two, but it is not just those two vying for the BTCC crown in 2024. Oh no, we have got once again Ash Sutton, who is hoping to gain that record-breaking fifth BTCC championship. We've got Dan Camish vying for his first BTCC crown, as same for Josh Cook, and Colin Turkington, like Ash Sutton, is also hoping for his fifth title. Now, even though it is mathematically 6 drivers for the BTCC Championship this year, it is realistically between Jake Hill, Tom Ingram and Ash Sutton. Now, some of you are probably wondering, Elliot, are we really going to include Ash Sutton? He's 30 points behind in the championship. And I'm going to say, yes, absolutely. It's Ash freaking Sutton we are talking about. One of the greatest drivers of all time already. Like, we cannot write off Ash Sutton, which is why I'm going to talk about him first. His chances for the BTCC crown. Unfortunately, I'm not going to include Camish, Cook or Turkington because I do not believe they are close enough. Yes, they're mathematically there, but for like Turkington and for Cookie, they're both 60 points behind. They virtually need to win all 3 races and hope that Sutton, Hill, Ingram, Camish all non-score, which is unlikely going to happen. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't see Cookie or Camish doing it, or Turkington for that matter. So it is realistically between Sutton, Hill and Ingram, as I've just mentioned. So yeah, talking about Ash Sutton's chances, well, starting it off, I don't think Sutton's going to win it this year. I think that that 5th championship he will have to miss out on, at least for this year. But for me, it's really strange to judge Ash Sutton's season this year because he has not been bad. He hasn't been bad in any sense. In fact, he's still been phenomenal, as he is every year. But it's just the fact that BMW, Hyundai, Toyota, they have all caught up to that dominant Ford that it was last year, that Ash hasn't been dominant. And in fact, he's only won 2 races this year compared to the 12 he won last year. So while statistically, yes, Sutton hasn't had the season that he had last year. Statistically, he's been worse. But I think performance-wise, he has still been there. He is still getting his elbows out of that, that amazing last lap charge in race 3 at Silverstone in the pouring wet. I think, were, again, like a lot of his drives, was one of his best. So yeah, there's no doubt that Sutton is going to be there. If he wins 1 race, then he's up there. If he wins the first 2 races, then it's a free-for-all in race 3. Sutton is usually quick around Brands GP, as he did last year. He took the double when he took his 4th championship. But of course, as I've mentioned, that Ford is not dominant as it was last year. So while when it comes to hybrid, Sutton will have the hybrid advantage over Hill and Ingram because they will now have the same amount of hybrid going into Saturday because, of course, they are tied on points, which means they are technically both the championship leaders. Obviously, Jake Hill still leads via the fact he's got 7 wins compared to Ingram's 3 or 4. 3 or 4. I think it's 3. I'll have to do some research after this. But yeah, so Jake Hill is still championship leader, but obviously Ingram equal on points, so they will have the same amount of hybrid into qualifying and into race 1. So Sutton definitely needs a big race 1. He needs a big qualifying. He can't have what happened in Silverstone and be out in Q1. He needs to get through this. He needs to get through the qualifying sessions, make sure he's in that quick 6, and maybe, just maybe, hope that third place hybrid power that he's got is enough to put him at least on the front row. Even better for pole position, because then he gets a point for that. Obviously, if he leads a lap in race 1, that's an extra point. If he gets fastest lap, another extra point. So, you know, Sutton could well and truly be clawing back 22, maximum 23, I believe, is the maximum points you can get for pole, fastest lap, leader lap, and winning race 1. Obviously, if Tingram and Hill do both score, then obviously that gap will not claw, you know, maths. So as I mentioned, Sutton's chances, I don't think he's going to do it, but I do think it is going to be really, really close. If he can get within 15 points by race 3, then I think maybe he'll have a chance, but I think realistically he needs to be within 10 points in the final race to have any sort of chance. Essentially, Ash Sutton needs to win both the first 2 races at least, get pole position in qualifying, and then just be consistent in race 3, get another top 10 finish and see if that will be good enough. I mean, if he could do 3 out of 3 and take it like that, that'd be pretty something to talk about. It's Ash Sutton, so there's going to be something to talk about. But yeah, as I mentioned, Ash Sutton's chances, I don't think he's going to do it this year in 2024. I do think he is just a little bit too far back. To be fair to Ash, he has had a little bit of bad luck this year. Some might argue that Toka are trying to take it away from him. If you are one of those people who think there's a conspiracy against Ash Sutton, please look yourself in the mirror and then punch yourself in the face, because you are a silly boy. Like, no, there is no conspiracy. As with the Jake Hill stuff at Silverstone, which I'm going to talk about, there is no conspiracy against anyone. It's just fair, great racing, as it has been throughout 2024. Anyway, moving on, now that you've all silenced. Now let's move on to Tom Ingram, who is theoretically second place in the championship. Obviously, it is either going to be Tingram or Jake Hill. You know, Tingram, he knows what it's like now. He's been in this position many times over the years. Of course, 2022 actually came back from third in the championship to win it on the final day in 2022. So, you know, Tom Ingram, he'll probably be going into this still feeling like the hunter instead of the hunted. Yes, he is, of course, joint championship leader. I'm going to keep saying that. So sorry if that annoys you. He is joint championship leader, but he, as I've mentioned, due to the fact that Jake Hill has more race wins, Hill is ahead on countback. So Tingram definitely is looking into this as the hunter, not the hunted. And I think that's something Tingram likes, you know, because then there's not... I don't think there's a lot of pressure on Tom Ingram this year, because, you know, he's done it before. You know, in 2022, he's come close countless times, but I think winning that 2022 championship has changed Tom Ingram for the better, in the fact he's way more confident now. He knows how to race. Well, obviously, he's always known how to race. But, you know, I think, you know, with Tom Ingram, he knows what he needs to do. He just needs to be consistent. Realistically, all Tom Ingram needs to do is outscore Jake Hill, and he's champion. He doesn't need to win any of the races. Doesn't even need to get a podium. He just needs to outscore Jake Hill and just hope that Ash Sutton doesn't claw back in a big enough points deficit. But yeah, for me, I think Tom Ingram... Yeah, I'll get to who I think will win the championship at the end of the video. But yeah, for Tingram, it's definitely going to be a good one for him. He is very consistent. He's a driver that doesn't go for a move when he doesn't need to. He will be conservative, but at the same time, he will get his elbows out, no doubt. Now, moving on to Jake Hill, the theoretical championship leader. Jake is supremely quick around Brands Hatch, as is Sutton and Ingram. But Jake Hill, it's his home track, so no doubt he will want to win the championship on his home track. You know, he won at Brands GP last year. He won race 30 of the season last year, although there was no pressure on him then. I do think that there is more pressure on Jake Hill than Tom Ingram. You know, even though they're equal, you know, I think Jake, he doesn't need to prove anything to me. I'm not saying that, but I do think there are some critics out there, or mainly on Facebook, who think that Jake doesn't deserve the position he is in. For me, he absolutely does. He's worked his arse off for over 10 years. He's deserved his place on the grid. And with the way he's been driving in 2024, he does deserve the British Touring Car Championship crown. He's been nigh on perfect almost this year. He has had a few mistakes, but thankfully those mistakes haven't been as costly as the ones that he made in 2023 and 2022. Jake, I think, has definitely come into his own this year. I think this is the best Jake Hill we have seen ever in the BTCC, and I think that's great for him. It's great for the championship, and it's great for us because Jake is a phenomenal driver. Watch him in the Nissan Primera Super Touring. Watch him in a Ford Capri at Goodwood. Watch him in anything, and he will go quick in it. I have said this multiple times. So yeah, as for Jake, he basically just needs to do the same as I said for Tingram. Just needs to outscore Tom Ingram. Doesn't need to worry about Sutton or Turkington or Camish or Cook, because Turkington, by the looks of it, is going to be a rear gunner for Jake Hill. I'm not a big fan of team orders per se, but at the same time, if it is for the championship, then yeah, and I'm sure, no doubt, Colin will be helping Jake Hill as he did. He let him through at Silverstone in race 1. So yeah, and in fact, just speaking of Silverstone, about the reverse grid draw, there was a conspiracy theory that Jake Hill looked inside the pot, which, for those of you who don't know, is not allowed. You're not allowed to look inside there because obviously it determines where you start. I don't think he did. I mean, no disrespect to Jake, he's a short lad. And I don't think that he physically could even look, even if he tried when they had the pot. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it is just salty Ash Sutton and Tom Ingram fans. I won't discriminate. But yeah, let's just stop with the toxicity. Stop with the, he's cheating. Let's just stop with that. Let's just sit back. If you're trackside Saturday or Sunday like me, I will be there Saturday, don't worry. Trackside, there will be a trackside vlog, don't worry. Or if you're there Sunday enjoying the event, just, stay off of Facebook, stay off of social media. Just enjoy the fantastic championship battle that 2024 has given us this year. Now, my pick for the 2024 British Touring Car Championship. Now, last year, I jinxed Jake Hill. Jake Hill was my pick for the 2023 British Touring Car Championship, and I jinxed him. He didn't win it. Tom Ingram, I did a jinx, actually. I did not jinx Tom Ingram in 2022. I said Ingram would be 2022 champion, and he won the 2022 championship. I've thought about who my pick is going to be for the past couple of weeks now. In anticipation for making this video, I thought, right, who is realistically going to do it? And I still have no idea who is going to do it, but, oh man, Simon Hill, you're going to hate me for this, but my pick for the 2024 British Touring Car Championship is Tom Ingram. I do see Ingram taking a second BTCC crown in 2024, but I do think it will be very close, and I do think we are going to witness the greatest BTCC finale in history, and I will die on that hill. I fully believe we are going to see some fireworks, we're going to see some tears, no doubt, whether they be happy or sad ones, but man, just talking about it, it gets me so excited. I truly cannot wait to see who walks out 2024 British Touring Car Champion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Who is your pick for the 2024 British Touring Car Championship? Will it be Jake Hill for the first time in his career? Will it be Tom Ingram for the second time in his career? Or will Ash Sutton do the almost unthinkable and claw back a 31 points deficit and take a record-breaking 5th championship? Thank you guys for watching. If you are new around here, be sure to like this video, share with your mates as well, because it of course does help my channel grow, and of course press that red subscribe button, because we are firmly on the road to 300 subscribers. Also, if you missed my previous video a couple of days ago, please go check that out. It is a great watch. I put many hours into editing it, getting all the footage I wanted to get. So yeah, please go check out my recent video that I will put a link in the description of this video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. Goodbye.